Robert Frost quotes that education is the ability to listen to almost everything without losing your temper or self-control. नमस्कार, मैं अंजलि गुप्ता, आप देख रहे हैं नेशन लाइव। नेशन लाइव की ड्राइव नो योर स्कूल की कड़ी को आगे बढ़ाते हुए आज हम हैं मैक्सफोर्ड स्कूल में। यहाँ पर हम बात करेंगे यहाँ के प्रिंसिपल डॉक्टर रागिनी कौल से शिक्षा और उनके स्कूल के बारे में। वेलकम मैम।
Thank you so much, Anjali.
Ma'am, the very first question that I would like to ask you is that we say that with great power comes great responsibility. How have you been able to manage this thing?
See, I am a strong believer in experiential learning. So when we are young, we tend to be a little brash, but I think when we are new joinees, we undergo a rigorous training, and with time, I think you keep on fine-tuning your skills and everything. So when it comes to facing the challenges, it's totally based on the kind of experience and training that you have had. So that makes it very, very easy then for us to kind of, battle these challenges.
Yes, right. तो मैम, जैसे वी नो दैट स्कूलिंग इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, तो आप मुझे ये बताइए कि स्कूलिंग का क्या गोल है और ये कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है आज के लिए भी या चलते आ रहे टाइम से?
Schooling is very, very important. In fact, as an educationist, I've always been advocating that these are the formative or the foundation years for any learner. So the skills that we develop in young children is going to go and stay with them lifelong. So schools are very, very important. Whatever training has to happen, whatever development has to happen, has to begin from this ground level, and whatever changes we want in society, that's why they are approaching the schools, and everybody is saying that it has to begin from the schools. I don't know whether you follow. I am a strong follower and a believer of Sadhguruji. Even when he gets involved into discourses with young adults, college students and entrepreneurs and other workforces, he also advocates that whatever changes we want, like Save Our Soil campaign, Save Our Rivers campaign that he started, he had to kind of have his volunteers who would connect with the schools, because that is where they realize that, if we have to bring in a kind of a change that we are looking forward to, we have to approach the schools because the minds are young. Whatever imprints you leave on these young minds are going to stay there forever.
Yes. तो मैम, हम एजुकेशन के ऊपर बात कर रहे हैं। मेरा सवाल आपसे ये रहेगा कि ऐसे क्या मुद्दे हैं जो आज के टाइम में एजुकेशन में बदलाव के लिए हमें चाहिए और बदलाव की हमें ज़रूरत है एजुकेशन को लेकर?
I think we all know that change is the only aspect that is constant. Changes will keep happening, and it is all about being the change that you want. We have to imbibe it ourselves, and we have to be open to changes. Though initially, whenever there's a change in whichever arena or strata, there are challenges, there are rebuttals, there are reactions of different kinds. But then that shouldn't put us off, or that shouldn't serve as a buffer to any one of us. There are a lot of changes. The recent change, as we have seen the National Education Policy being implemented, it's not been implemented yet, but it's already been passed. The bill has been passed, and a lot of educationists are involved into it, and we are trying to understand what the policy is. Not everything can be kind of implemented and executed at the go, but we have the freedom of taking it up in stages. So we see that as education, it was long due. There are so many welcome changes in it. We can't be doing the same thing over and over again because it becomes stagnant, and we know what is stagnant is bad for all of us. Therefore, there are lots of changes which keep happening with time and which we should be open to.
Ma'am, as we know that somewhere India was lacking in education, but not now. But do you think that we are still facing the same problem? Are we lacking in education?
Well, if you ask me, without sounding conceited, I've been fortunate enough to be working with institutions of high repute where I have been a globetrotter, and I have been going across the globe, various countries, studying their education system like Germany and Middle East and Singapore and Australia and other places. But to be honest with you, let me tell you that the foundation years, the schooling is much better in India. The concepts are much better because our standards are very high. Well, you see, this is being authenticated by the fact that it is the Indians abroad who are doing so well in whichever arena, whether it's medicine, it's engineering. What is the reason that our workforce turns out to be the best manpower that these first world countries boast about? It is because of the sound education systems that we have here. But yeah, to be honest, we lack in one place, that is research. Research is something that India needs to look into at the higher levels and orient our minds accordingly so that we get into some deep research. And that is where the other counterparts of ours in the Western outset are doing a brilliant job. But the foundation education in India isn't bad at all.
So ma'am, we've been talking about education. Now I would like to talk about Maxford schools. So my very first question about school would be, how do we handle the discipline school-wide? How do we manage the discipline?
See, we have our systems in place and we believe in evolving and growing with our children. Nothing is impossible in this world. You know, when, as they say, parenting and teaching isn't very easy. Because when we decide to be parents, we have to be ready with the challenges. Exactly in the similar way, when we decide to be a teacher, it's not everybody's cup of tea. Let's be very clear. Unless and until we are passionate, we have patience, we are, we have perseverance, we have the dedication to work with young children, which needs a lot of stamina, lots of patience, lot of energy levels. You have to be very vibrant. So nothing is impossible, and ours, Maxford schools, are very progressive, in their outlook. We believe in a lot of researching, we believe in a lot of CPDs, that is the continuous professional developments, where our staff, our team is being trained each year, by attending several workshops, internally as well as sending them out. And where we keep updating their skills, because if we are updated ourselves, we would have the knack of how to handle children. So discipline, to be honest, has not been a problem with Maxford, because maybe as I told you, that the systems are very much in place, and the trainings that we give to the teachers and the kind of work culture that we set up, it filters right from the top to the bottom. So any new recruits that come in automatically fall into that kind of a system, which is existing. And we are very open-minded and we encourage teamwork. I individually value teamwork a lot.
All right, so ma'am, you just used very beautiful adjectives to describe Maxford and the discipline. I want to ask ma'am, what facilities do Maxford provide to these schools, to these children, for the help which you just said, the adjectives you just used, for their discipline and for them coming out as skilled people?
See, as I told you, Anjali, Maxford falls into the A-League progressive school, So fortunately, with the kind of infrastructure that we have, the kind of environment that we provide here, be it the safety and the security for the children, it is actually a home away from home for our children. Every Maxfordian takes a pride in being a part of the school system, because that is the kind of love, that is the kind of environment that we provide here. We respect each other's privacy, we respect each other's self-esteem, and we make our children grow with a self-pride, where they feel very proud, where they feel very responsible, where they feel socially responsible towards, as I keep telling them, that when you're out of your home, you carry a tag on your shoulder, which reflects as to what kind of a background you come from. So you have to do justice to that. So these are little things that we instill in our Maxfordians right from the tender age, and it goes right from the infancy till they graduate and go out of the portals of the Maxford. So by the time they leave the portals of the school, I am sure each one of them is confident, each one of them is a proud citizen of the country, each one of them is skilled enough to take the life bang on.
So ma'am, as we are talking about, see, usually what happens is that it is not difficult for normal child to face any problem in education, but is it difficult, I mean, I want to ask that what are the different facilities we provide for the people who actually need more help in education, who are lacking somewhere? It happens in the students between them.
Anjali, if your pedagogies are in place, first of all, I think it's not difficult to be keeping in tandem with what the educational trends are. And the question is that, you know, you have to be very clear about your objectives. You have to understand that it's learning that is important. This is what we keep telling the teachers, and this is what we follow strictly over here, that you don't have to focus on teaching. It's not simply a transfer of your knowledge from you to the taught. No, you have to ensure that you are simply a facilitator in a given environment where you have to ensure that learning is happening, because learning has to happen. And via medias are different, you know, experiential learning where a child is given a project to work upon, to research and come back informed on the topic that would be dealt with the next day. Now, when you're involving the child into and getting him or her into the mode of self-study, I don't think learning would be difficult. But yes, in some cases, children do suffer genetically or otherwise with learning disabilities. Yes, so for that also we have a counselor in the school, we have special educators who handle them in accordance to that.
All right. So thank you so much ma'am for talking with us, for being with us. तो ये थी हमारे साथ मैक्सफोर्ड स्कूल की प्रिंसिपल डॉक्टर रागिनी कौल. इन्होंने बताया कि स्कूल कैसे प्रोग्रेसिव है, स्कूल कैसे बच्चों की मदद कर रहा है. नेशन लाइव आप तक ऐसे ही स्कूल्स की खबर लेकर आता रहेगा. उन्हें देखने के लिए बने रहे हमारे साथ. धन्यवाद.